Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is what did I buy now? So I don't know if you noticed in the last episode we talked about our tent for traveling. Thing is, it goes in the back of a pickup truck. Well, the only pickup truck I had was Moose. Well, until now. So here's what we've got, and a lowdown and a skinny on what it is and why we got it. So what we got was a 2022 Dodge Ram, and here it is. There it is. Excuse that it's a little bit dirty. It's been raining like crazy lately, and it's supposed to rain again, so even though it's sunny at the moment, I really don't want to clean it because I'm going to end up being dirty before the night's out. Anyways, this is a 2022 Dodge Ram. It's the classic model 1500. It's got the 5.7 Hemi in it. Beautiful engine. Lots of power. And as you see, it's clean, very dressed down. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles. I'll go over that in a minute. That is our friend. We have the tonneau cover on it. This is courtesy of a friend of mine. He had the same truck get written off, but he happened to keep that. So when I got this, didn't have the tonneau cover, but we've got it. It's got the rear camera, of course, comes standard with these things. Nice, fairly big area in there to play with. This thing, it is light as can be. Moose's is hard. This, 2 fingers. I can pick it up and there. That easy. Very nice, very easy. We've got the hitch. Just the standard rims, nothing fancy yet. Never know, that might change. As I said, we're just running the stock rims. It is just the later trucks, so we're just running a 5-bolt, not like the 8-bolt Moose is. These are, I don't even know where the number is on there, somewhere on there, 275s. They work out to about a 31-inch tire. Eventually, we do want to put the spring lift in, extend the shocks a little, and then we're going to like put the 2-inch lift in it, so I can go slightly larger tire. But I don't want to do that right now because I'm loving the ride and the fuel economy, and I know once I switch that up, it's definitely going to make a problem for us. You got a ton of legroom back here. This folds up and you've got tons of storage underneath. These actually dip way down in. They're quite deep. So I got tools and everything else hiding under there. The back seat doesn't move, but you can put some stuff up in behind it. So, nice stereo system. Up in. So I think I'm going to reposition a bit because I got a little bit too much light in my eyes. But then I'll go over all the interior here for you and some of the bells and whistles and the main reasons why we got the truck. Now, one of the reasons I decided to go with the Dodge for a change, I've normally been a Ford person. I've had and killed about 5 F-150s. Their trannies just don't seem to last, but then again, I've always got them high mileage, so I can't say from new. But anyways, the reason I got this one was fixability, if that's even a word. It is today. The difference with this, as you can see, there's lots of room in here. Even though it's all new, high tech, all that kind of fun stuff, you can still get your hands in there. You can still get at stuff and fix it. You can get at everything down here. You can get at your fuel. You can get at your coils. You can get it everything you need to. It's nice and accessible. The problem with the Ford is half of that stuffed back underneath the cowl in such a way you can't even get your hands into it. It's a crazy amount of money. You got a manifold leak, it costs you a fortune to get it fixed, where this one it's a couple $100. So that was something that was important to me, and I needed something newer. I was looking at buying a used, an older vehicle, but we decided to heck with it. Let's go with something new, or newer, and something, good and up to date. Something that's not going to give me grief for a while. Now this has got the classic front end to it. We do have the lights down here, fog lights. They do work. I may eventually put in something small in here on either side, just something low profile, just to add a little more light to the road. But I don't want to drill into this or anything right now. This thing's far too new, so we'll see what we can do. I was thinking of putting something behind here, but newer technology, holy crap, is it a lot of stuff to move to try to get behind that grill. Not like the old days when you open up and you can just put your hand behind it. No. There's fans and shrouds and covers and vents, and yeah, it's crazy. So I gotta figure out what to do if we're gonna put anything in behind here. We may put some amber flashing lights in for when we're towing, and then try to put maybe something. I don't want to block in the grill either, because that's where my air is coming, but we might put something small in there. We'll have to see as time comes. I decided to go with the Dodge Ram. One, because of availability. Two, bank was able to work with me on it. And also just the fact something different to try. I have a friend that swears by these things. He's had them, and he's hard on his vehicles, and yet he hasn't had a whole lot of trouble with them. So I kind of took some advice from him, and listened to what he's been through over the years, and really not a bad choice. So I'm giving it a try. We got this one for a couple of reasons. One, I need something to haul stuff around with. The hybrid was nice, but hauling a trailer, the hybrid didn't do as well. It did kind of kill its gas mileage. Believe it or not, on the highway it was good, but not terrific, because it didn't. The battery capacity in the hybrid was not that huge, so it kind of used it up pretty quick. So on the highway you were either trying to regen the battery or whatever, so you were still getting good gas mileage, but it was great in town. If you were short rounds, everything else, but as soon as you used up the 32 kilometers the battery had, you're back into using gas, and I won't complain. When I was keeping it short distance, little run arounds, it was great. But any long distance, I found it was still a bit pricey for what you pay for the car. This truck, it's getting, if I run around a lot in town, about 16.2 per 100 liters. I'll try to figure that ratio for you guys in the States and put that up. And we're running, but on the highway, this is an 8-speed automatic, so I'm getting like 10.8 to 11.2 per 100 kilometers, liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, which is beautiful. That's why it's gotten, is for highway running. It's gotten so that we can tow moose. I needed something with enough towing capacity and weight that I'd be able to get a trailer and tow moose. Moose is great. He's designed for the road, but it is an off-road vehicle. It has no carpets, it has no headliner, the doors don't seal 100%, so you get that thing with the windows up on the highway, it's noisy as heck. So it's actually quieter with the windows down than it is with them up. So it's kind of one of those things where It's great for, an hour's drive if I have to, an hour and a half, stuff like that. But if I'm going further, for two reasons. One, in case something breaks. We still do have a lot of old parts in Moose, and that causes, that's what causes some of our failures. Till we get everything figured out and what has to be upgraded. I'd love to make it all new, but it's just not in the budget. So we push our luck until something breaks, and then we have to fix that, and away we go. Usually once we fix it, it doesn't break again, at least for a long time. So I needed something to haul Moose around, and this was my choice. It is the newer technology inside. It has a computer under the hood, all that fun stuff. It has all the electronics, gadgets, everything else inside, and creature comforts. It doesn't have heated seats. It doesn't have the heated seats. Doesn't have some of the bells and whistles. Has air conditioning. Has cruise control. It has the Android Link center console. The dash is killer. I'll show you it. It's pretty wicked. It's comfortable to drive. Just beautiful. Very, very comfortable. It is a 6-seater. The center console folds up, and it just gives you a lot of options. So some of the dumb things it has, not really dumb, but I have all kinds of little storage cubbies, like tons of them. There's a little one over there, big one there. This is actually an option. You can have a second glove box in here. This one just has the open box, but there is an option, and I'm not sure. I may look into it. This is just an insert. It pops out, and you can put in. You can see how the indents here. You can actually snap in a second glove box that opens upwards. It has a glove box here that opens downward. Lots of room, storage here. As I say, this nice big storage case, and then this whole thing lifts, so I have another seat. You got these seats. You got the back seat, as I showed you earlier, and it has a ton of leg room. Very nice, very nice. No moonroof, no things like that. This is like a very basic. If you notice in the back though, it does dip up, so you can actually have somebody tall sitting in the back and not bouncing their head off of things, which could be handy if I have Mitch in the back. He's tall. It's got censored mirror. The rest, no little cubbies in here, just kind of basic that way. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Hopefully this doesn't blast us. So you have your tack, even though it's an automatic 8-speed. Your temperature gauge. You have your battery, oil, heat, and then your fuel gauge, your analog speedometer, and I normally run it set on the digital speedometer in the center. Now you can change that. Nice part about this is we are going to be heading to the States, so with a little push of a button, I switch from miles or kilometers to miles and back and forth. Just one little click, boom, it switches it for me. Pretty sweet. On here, it's a little hard for you guys to see probably, but there's a little menu here, and it allows me to flip through and things like oil life, fuel economy, and that's like exact fuel economy. So right now I've got a 16.5 per 100 because I've been running around in town. As I say, I get on the highway and that gets down to an average of 11, and I've seen this as low as 7 per 100 kilometers. So that's pretty good for a big truck. It has 2 trips, and the trips give you your distance, your average your average kilometers, and then your elapsed time. So a brake, this is the biggest thing I needed. I needed the electric brake. So this actually has your dialable brake. You can change your gain plus and minus. It has the manual override if you need to jake brake, and it just allows me to put a trailer on the back of this that's got electric brakes and can haul moose. And that's the biggest and most important thing, and the reason we got this. So it also hooks to your Bluetooth, and then it has stored messages and a whole screen set up to set things. And this side, it's your, I guess, typical if you're used to the new stuff, the center console. For me, this stuff's new. I'm Moose. I'm old school. I like just starting my car and having next to nothing. I do like having these electronics. They're kind of fun. But this has a full, like your phone, multiple pages, has a reverse camera, has, Bluetooth and radio and all that kind of different things, messages, the whole 9 yards. It can do all kinds of neat little things. I've set it up in the dark mode all the time. I don't like the white blinding at me, so I have it in the black mode, but you can have it either way. And as I said, it's got air conditioning. You can turn the screen off altogether if you want, so it just sits there like that. It's got the rear sensor, so when I'm backing up, it yells at me if I'm getting close to something. So it beep 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 beeps. And also the camera, it shows you when you're backing up. It literally bends the lines to show you where you're going to be going to. Kind of weird, but kind of cool. I've got the tow haul, and then you've got your traction control. You can turn it off. 4-wheel drive in this one, so it's got all that. And then your neutral, you can actually put the transmission in neutral, which is something the Ford, or the older Fords, didn't let me do. It went from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. You couldn't actually stick it in neutral to haul it. Dial, gear shift, still getting used to that. It's weird. Cruise control, as I said, and then gear control, so I can actually shift up and down my gears manually if I want to. Your phone, and other pieces of information that you can run. Power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, all standard. I did not get the Moose mirrors. This one did not come with the Moose mirrors. That may be one of the changes we do in the future. We might change these mirrors. But that said, I've also been threatened by the better half that Moose is the toy. This has got to stay somewhat stock, and I can't spend a bunch of money on it, or I will be sleeping in the garage with Moose. Don't want to do that. So, Moose is still the toy. Moose is still going to get the money spent on it. This has to get some upgrades to pull Moose once he's on the trailer. Not to pull him, that's fine, but the type of crawler hauler I'm going to be building, and yes, we're building a custom trailer to haul Moose, a lot of weight's going to be on the tongue, so we are going to have to put airbags in the coils to be able to inflate and handle that without killing my rear suspension. We're hauling to Utah, we're hauling up to Ardbeg, we're hauling other places. We may even take it out to Alberta. I'm not driving Moose that far. We will definitely be hauling it with this. And these are, two of those trips are over 36, 37 hours. So they're not something you're going to want to do in an uncomfortable vehicle. You're going to want creature comforts. Other than that, what I can tell you about this truck is, so far, loving it. Comfortable, easy to drive, very handleable. It is the 5.7 box. Sorry, get that out right. And it so it makes it a little shorter, but with the quad cab, it's still a long truck. Parking it in certain places doesn't fit very well. Widthwise, we're fine. Lengthwise, not so much. You got to find a place that's got some grass or something you could back the ass end over to fit comfortably. That's the biggest downfall. When I'm down in Toronto, it is kind of fun to find a spot to park it. Other than that, I have no complaints with it so far. It's been really well. We've had it about, give or take, about a month now. And, I've racked up quite a few miles on it already. And still loving it. No problems. It's running well. Handles good. Shifts well. Just been an all-around good purchase so far. So I'll keep you up to date on that later on. Once we're hauling with it and everything else, find out how that goes. We'll definitely have an episode on the rear bags when we put them in the coils, so you all can see how that's done and any other little things we do to it. But as I say, for now, it'll be very minor little things. If I happen to trip on a set of moose mirrors that I can put on it, I will, but buying them new, they're very expensive and not in the budget. Our money's still going into Moose and Squeak and those projects. So this, like I say, been threatened not to do too much on it. So I listen when the wife says, don't do it. Anyways, other than that, that's it for the moment. Hope this helps you out if you're thinking about buying one of these things. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments and I'll try to answer them. And on that, that's it for now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share. Helps build the channel. I thank you very much for that, and I will see you next video.